T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Can we talk?
Girl, I really wanna know your name.
Maybe this will help.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Listen, we in here. Let me hear your mic again. Make sure you got the right one connected.
Yep, it looks like it's the right one.
Oh yeah, sounds good. My mic sounds nice. What's up, y'all?
Say that. That's crazy.
Hey, first of all, we can't be playing these games together no more because Mike be stealing all my answers.
You a lot.
Hella rude.
God, wow.
Categories.
Yep.
Upset.
Yeah. It was a landslide. This nigga Donovan found a cheat code.
Or am I just good at what I do? You know.
Found the cheat code.
Okay, I'm stick with that. That's fine. You know, when people lose, all kind of reasons behind why they lost, except for that they're just not good enough.
Sheesh, that's crazy.
Yes, and that can apply to relationships as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help the Podcast. This is season 6, episode 15. Give you that relationship talk you can relate to, the good, the bad, the alimony. You know what's so cool about this show, bro, is that even when we don't prepare, it's almost like we just know what to come on and start doing. Like, I love that this is such a naturally flowing show for us. This is what we want to talk about. It's how we want to talk.
It is.
It's an authentic show.
And I feel like it's been that way since the conception. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much what Carrie, the founder of the show, wanted it to be. And I think that, you know, when you and I kind of took over, we just kept that tradition of you know, being authentic, talking about things that we can relate to, and you know, just I wouldn't even call it giving it advice, just going through the things that's worked for us. You know what I'm saying? And in hopes that, cue the title of the show. Maybe this will help. There it is.
All right, man. Well, we're going to get into it, ladies and gentlemen. You know how we do. Sometimes we'll come in and check in before we get deep into the conversation. Mike, was there anything that stuck out to you about this week? Something that you enjoyed, something that you learned, something that you regretted? What's one thing that you remember from this past week?
Man, I think that the celebration of my brother's birthday, my brother being this gentleman to the, what is that, left of me here.
Sorry, I'm back. Relax. Okay.
There you go. See, there you go. Just relax. Yeah, so it was my brother's birthday this weekend, and you know, just the fellowship, the brotherhood, the conversation, the laugh, the games, the food, you know what I'm saying? It was just a vibe, man. And it, you know, sometimes when you step back and you just look, kind of like today when we were all at lunch after the gym, I just kind of look back and just the conversation just be so rich and not even on purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, we was just bullshitting and talking, shooting at each other, and then 2 seconds later, we're in this deep, heartfelt conversation. And I was just thinking, man, like, it's amazing how God puts the right people in your life at the right season, at the right time, if you're willing to listen to that voice, and if you're willing to, you know what I mean, follow the path that He tells you to follow, man. And just the feeling of gratitude to have, you know, the people that are closest to me in my life, man, it's dope. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling, man. So I think that's the highlight. This whole weekend, just being with you, being with my wife, being with my sister, and just, you know, just allowing each other to pour into each other. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, so yeah.
Are you still feeling sentimental, bro, from lunch? Because
I had my cry at lunchtime, brother. I'm good.
sounds like it's right here. Because just started, and you know, it's the people that care about. It's the people that care about.
Oh man, nah, I'm good, man. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, that's true, man. If anything came from that conversation, is pick your tribe wisely, man.
Facts.
You know, I think that a lot of people hang out with and are loyal to people because they carry the title of sibling or parent,
Mhm.
or just because they've been around a long time, and there's this,
Yep.
you know, this
Yep.
sentimental value friendship. But
Yeah.
honestly, man, your people around you should continue to reflect the needs you have for the season that you're in. I'm not saying you got to get rid of friends, but I am saying the proximity should be fluctuating according to where you are and what you need. This might be a season where you and your uncle need to be a lot closer versus dad, or this may be a season where you and your neighbor need to be a lot closer versus your sister, because
Right.
every brings something to the table of benefit, or maybe you're supposed to pour into them in a unique way. But if everybody's fighting to hold the position that they've always had, that can
Right.
be detrimental to your growth. That can be detrimental to your calling.
Right. Say that.
And I think that, you know, when people start putting a guilt trip on you for not being around or being invested in the way you used to in certain relationships, I think they're missing the bigger picture. I think that we have to remember this life is so much bigger than us or the
Yeah.
people that want us around. God
Yeah.
has called us all to do some very unique things, and sometimes it's with strangers.
Jeez. And
Yeah,
I feel
man.
like that's how you know really who your tribe is when you have to go and venture out and create
Mhm.
bonds, new relationships with people that, you know, it used to be them that you went to, but now it's other people. Like, if they still like wanting to see you win, and they still rooting for you, and they still, you know what I mean, got your back with certain wishes. Like, see, that's how you know like these people are for you, because they're not just for you when you're with them, they're for you regardless.
Yeah, man.
Come
Yep.
on. All
Well,
right, brother. Let's turn the tables.
well,
Do you
as
have
oh
do
god,
you have
yikes.
do you have a highlight or a struggle or a accomplishment of any kind from this past week?
You know, let's see. Turning 46 was not a small feat. I remember having conversations with one of my earlier mentors about how we didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
We're at a young age in high school. We didn't have a plan for our adulthood as a man, because during that time we were told that we'll be dead by 18 or around then.
Mm,
You
mm,
know, and so when that's when that's the narrative, right? And this is before social media, bro. I grew up in
right,
1980. So
right.
1990, 5 to 1998, this is what we're being told. Oh, 18 to 21, that's the lifespan of a black man. And so
Yeah.
if you're being told that over and over again, you don't really plan
Nah.
for anything beyond that. And it's almost like, oh,
Yeah,
why are you just wanting to do this and live for the day and live in the moment?
right.
But you know, a lot of my friends, well, not even friends, a lot of my acquaintances, people that I was around, did not make it past 18 or 21. And so as I'm sitting here at 46, recognizing what a feat that is, sitting here talking to my mom saying, I hope I make you proud. And she was like, there's nothing, you've already exceeded my expectations when it comes to it. And that just makes me feel good. Not
Yeah.
because I did it for her, but because I know that my accomplishments are hers and my father's.
Yeah.
I'm made up of both of them. So their lives continue on through me.
That's
You know,
facts.
it just makes me feel good to know that she's happy with how I've taken what she's given me. And I'm pretty sure my dad would be as well. So yeah.
That's dope, man.
Yeah,
That's
man.
dope.
So I'm sitting up here at 46 and just looking to get better. I did a video today in the gym of my first workout at 46. So I've been doing that every year. The first workout, and just looking back over the years at 45 and 46, I'm like, I'm holding on to it, man. I'm holding on to
Listen,
it.
brother.
And I gotta go upstairs at some point and do my backflip to make sure that's still
Yeah, for sure.
you know? So
For sure. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff, man. Well, again, brother, happy birthday. We're glad. I'm sure the audience is glad that you made it to see another year. And everybody is looking, well, I don't know about them. I'm looking forward to seeing what God has planned for you this year, bro.
man, for sure, bro. What he has
Yes,
planned for
sir.
me right now is this show. Tonight's topic is why we shouldn't marry one another.
Why we didn't have this topic the first time I got married, brother? Where was you at?
Oh,
10
I
years
was still stuck in the line where you said you didn't want any new friends.
Facts.
We
All right.
was waiting for management to update the system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
So I just want you guys to know that ahead of time. We're going to be having a conversation about why we shouldn't marry one another. What I want you to know is that last week we talked about testing. We
Yeah,
talked
we did.
about how to, test your partner and whatnot. And so hopefully, let me say this right. Do you test your, what do you call those people that you're dating?
Not partner.
Potential.
Sheesh.
Do you test the people you date? I want to try this new feature.
All right. While Donnie's working on that real quick. So I don't know if you guys have realized, but I don't think that we've missed one episode this year. Donnie and I have made it a point to show up and give you guys the what we can give you. I was almost gonna say the best. Sometimes it's not the best though. That we give you the best in that moment that we can give you guys. So what we need you guys to do is to like, to share, to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Again, you guys know that we come on here and we do this because we believe that God is using us to do this, but it's not free, as we've said before. So if you guys want to bang our Cash App, please feel free. That's Maybe This Will Help podcast. Is that the Cash App? Maybe This Will Help podcast.
He tells me I have time to go do something different than he.
Maybe this will help. Maybe this will help. It's just maybe this will help. $, maybe this will help. Whatever you donate, 5, 10, 15, 20,000, we will accept it. That'll help us stay on air and give y'all the content that y'all came to see. Mr. Donnell.
All right. And on that note, if you were on here, faithful brothers, if you was on here last week, I just want to put a poll up because it's a new little toy. So this is the poll we got. Do you test the people you date? And if I'm correct, you should be able to interact with it live and select something. So try it for me, guys. It's my first time doing this. I want to see if this works. Do you test the people you date? Yes, no, only the ugly ones. Yes, but I don't like I don't like to be tested. Somebody try it out for me. Let me know this thing actually works. Let me see if I could do it on here.
My brother's using y'all as guinea pigs. I don't know if y'all picked up on that, but
I am. It's not working. Is it working? Let's see. Are they participating is a question.
Yeah, that's tricky.
It's on the screen, right?
Yeah, it's there. I'm
Oh,
surprised
shit.
my wife ain't said nothing.
Maybe I just looked it up, so maybe I don't know how to work it yet. What somebody say? I'm on YouTube and it doesn't work. Ain't that something?
Okay. Was it
All
through
right.
you? It's supposed to work on every platform?
Yeah. It's a new situation, so maybe. Yeah.
Rashonda said she on the phone and she can't tap it.
And it's not working on my phone either. Okay, well, it was worth the shot. Let me take it down. Let's get back to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get into our first video of the night, and then we will be leading up to the conversation of why we shouldn't marry one another. But until then, let's have a little fun. Let's ease into the conversation today. Let's start like this.
My boyfriend gets insecure when I wear fitted or revealing clothes and says it makes him extremely uncomfortable. We got into a fight about it, so we went out to dinner and I wore this really sexy red dress. Okay, girl. It was to the knee and had a little slit, and my boobs were out just a little bit. I had a coat and a cute purse. But we got into a big fight and he almost fought somebody at the restaurant. Girl. And I can't help but notice his ex didn't have the same kind of body I do. I'm not trying to seek attention. I'm just existing. But I think he thinks I want attention and it makes him insecure. How do you date a man whose ego can't handle such confidence? My boyfriend.
I'm just existing is wild.
Yeah, that's great. Good for her. All right.
So
All
what
right.
do you do? I think that's her question. What do you do in that situation where the person you're dating, this boyfriend girlfriend thing again,
Yeah.
is having an issue with how you present yourself in public? They haven't married you yet,
Yeah.
but they're voicing their issue with how you dress in public. And then you also go and you find pictures of their ex and recognize like, oh, this wasn't an issue in your last relationship. They didn't even have a body to carry this kind of, energy.
Yeah.
Quick answer. Bye. All right.
Damn.
I mean, where you at?
So okay. Where am I at?
What if let's give it a real scenario, man.
Oh shit.
So you and your wife are not married. You guys are dating.
All right.
And Janae has an issue with you wearing those stringy tank tops and short shorts at the gym.
Yeah.
But she used to dating guys that wear a medium hoodie. Like,
Why would you do this?
just keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yep. No, so I think for me, if she had an issue with how I'm dressing at the gym, I would want to have a conversation like, why? Is it do you see me getting attention that I don't see? And if that's the issue, then that's a whole different issue than what I have on. You know what I mean? Your attention is that I'm getting attention from women. That's your issue. That's your issue. And so and what I find, bro, with these type of conversations, it's usually deeper than just what she has on. You know what I mean? It's usually, oh, niggas gonna be looking at you, or for women, you're gonna have women all over you trying to come up to you. So if that's the issue, say that. Don't make it about my clothes.
Some people might say you're deflecting. If the person that you're interested in dating has an issue with what you're wearing, why not just change it?
Because if I like it, then why would I change it?
Because you might lose that person over it.
Lose the person I'm dating?
Yeah.
Then I don't need to date them.
Huh. It's that easy?
It depends on where we are in the dating. If we talking, we've been on 2 dates, then yeah, it's that easy. Especially if you're the person is not, like I said, a conversation. Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't change, but if you're saying I don't like it, change it now. No, I'm not gonna talk about it with you. Okay, then yeah, we can't do this.
So here's my question, man. At what point in the dating phase do you start, or should you start considering making accommodations for this person's preferences, right? How you dress in public, or how you speak, or maybe how you what places you like to go out to. At what point in a dating process do you start making accommodations? At what point do you think, I'm liking this person this much, we've been through X, Y, and Z, or this has happened, now my feelings are involved, and now it's probably smart for me to make some accommodations to things that aren't a big deal because I don't want to lose this person?
So you just said it. When you start having those type of feelings, but those type of feelings don't automatically happen just because we dating. It's usually some time, like you said, we've been through some things. Like, we've both discussed that our feelings are growing. Like, this thing is getting serious. That's when I start. Okay, still, even then, for me.
Can I pause you for a second? You said when we decide, or when I within myself have. Because that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, there's people who are willing to make these accommodations, and sometimes I'm like, that ain't your husband. Don't make these accommodations. But I don't think it really has a lot to do with the title. Something happens inside of us.
I agree. I agree with that. And even with that, again, like I was about to say, absent conversation, I'm not like the only person that I'm just changing for, and she don't have to give me a reason, would be my wife. If we're dating, yeah, we're gonna have to talk.
So what kind of conversation would make you say, I'm not wearing these short shorts and these tank tops no more? What has to
She
happen in that conversation?
okay, what would the conversation be where I'd be like, you know what? All right, I'll tone it down. This gonna be kind of graphic. She could say, so I don't know if you noticed this, but you got a bulge when you wear your shorts, and it's just drawing way too much attention, and it's kind of making me a little bit uncomfortable. I'm seeing how people are, you know what I mean, kind of looking, and it's kind of okay, cool. But I told you, and I do this to this day. I wear a white towel if I got on something that I think is like, okay, you're doing too much.
And so the thing about it though, in this conversation, there's things that we're okay with because we're single.
That's good. That's very good.
And then there's things that as we move into marriage, that path between there, at some point, do we wait for the person that we're with to say, hey, you ever thought about how this looks now that you're not single or now that you're dating? Because maybe you need to make some accommodations there. And that can be from how we present ourselves verbally,
Yeah.
appearance wise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Asking this because I think in that phase
Yeah.
between, oh, I met you and oh, I want to marry you,
Mhm.
feelings are going to start coming up and expectations are going to start coming up. And you are slowly moving from I'm single and the only
Yeah.
thing that matters is how I feel about me to
Mhm.
I have to consider another person. So I'm wondering if we already know what those milestones are. Are they, oh, we're dating exclusively, oh, we're engaged? Or is it not even about the milestones? Is it about my feelings? Will my feelings get involved to a certain degree? Then I start making accommodations. That's the question on the table, man.
And it's a solid question, bro. And I don't hate it, but all I can say is talk. Like if you feel like, because everybody feelings is not going to be equal all the way up until let's get married. Somebody may fall a little bit faster, somebody may be a little bit slower, whatever the case may be. But if I don't know what's going on, I don't know how you feeling, I don't know why, all of a sudden every time we go to the gym after we leave, you got a little bit of an attitude, and I'm supposed to know that it's because some chick was checking me out. I don't know these things. So
I hear
absent
you.
conversation is nothing we can do.
So we're having the conversation, right?
We're
'Cause
talking.
per that video, he's expressed to her, your clothes are too tight. To be my girlfriend, your clothes are too tight. She said, I went and looked at his ex-girlfriend. She didn't have a body like mine, so that couldn't have possibly been an issue. And you know how I feel about that. I feel
Yes,
like
I do.
some big curvy girls can wear the same outfit as someone else and they get judged differently. So
Yes.
I'm saying, at what point, like, yeah, you're saying we have to have a conversation, but now we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
When does that conversation matter to me? When I can see a future with this person, or while I'm still trying to figure this person out?
To me, when I can see a future, when I can see, okay, this is going to be longer than 6 months. You know what I mean? I'm starting to think about, you know what I mean, building with this person. I'm starting to think about, man, I wonder if she's going to be a good mother. I'm starting to think about things that actually matter, as opposed to, I can't wait till we go to the movies on Friday.
And you know why I go down this? I went so far to ask all these questions to relate it back to something we often do on the podcast. And that is, if you were looking for a job,
Yeah.
and you saw a posting for a job, and you went and saw the job requirements, you would go and get the trainings or get the degrees or try to look as close as possible to what they're looking for for the interview. And I'm wondering if we're looking at the responsibility of being someone's spouse, their partner, their spouse, and what that requires of us. At what point do we start taking the responsibility so serious that we start making alterations to ourselves to fit the role? Because people in interviews they're trying to get the job.
Yeah, for sure.
The people, it sounds like when we're dating,
even when they're not qualified,
we're not even in the dating reel. We use this parallel of dating to trying to get a job often. But I think it's so many holes in it because on dating, you're not really trying to get a job. You're not trying to become that person for them. At least some people aren't. They're just out there saying, hey, who's going to accept me for who I am?
Yeah, man.
But I struggle with that mindset because in other places, we're trying hard to fit the role. But when it comes to marriage, which is for me, one of the top tier partnerships you ever find yourself in, why do we take such a lackadaisical approach to like customizations?
Is it lackadaisical? Is it careful, or is it filled with the last couple guys that I kind of tailored myself for? It ended terribly, and they didn't really appreciate it after I gave it to them. So now I'm a little bit leery about doing that with the next guy. I feel like even with like you were comparing it to a job. Even on the interview, even on your resume, people tend to embellish a little bit. That's not you got some experience, but this job you're applying for is a little bit above your pay grade. So you're gonna word your resume, you're gonna put that thing through ChatGPT and make it look like a sterling perfect employee, even though you got some little flaws somewhere. And I feel like that's the same thing that people do in dating. So when it comes to, like I said, so for me, I'm not willing to change and tailor and do all those things. And I'm sure Janae can attest to this until I see, like, okay, this is going somewhere. Let me. Okay, you prefer this again. Let's talk about why you prefer it. Cool. We've talked about it. You voiced your opinion. Cool. I can make that change because like you said, because I want to be with you, because I'm seeing more of a future with you. Then again, I'm just excited about the next date.
So we're okay. I'm about to say because we're dating people that we can't really see a future with.
No. You should only be dating. No. So yes, because you can't see a person. You can't see a future with a person on the first. Some people can. I mean, I did, but everybody can't see a future with a person just because you go on one or two dates. Some people need a little bit more data than that.
All right, and I just think it's a fair question to ask, man, because just for the sake of conversation, and you guys don't know this, but before the wedding, Mike was about to cut his hair.
Wow. All right. He was
for his wife.
Yeah.
And so when I'm thinking about like the attachment we have to our physical appearance, Mike has not shaved his beard a certain way because of his wife. You know what I'm saying to you? Look, tell all his business. And so, you know what I'm saying to you? You guys know I've shared my business about me, in my last relationship where she thought my shorts were too short, and I decided not to wear them anymore. And so I'm the whole reason I'm asking this is not because I believe one way is right or the other, but when we're having this conversation, I just want people to consider when you came into this space of dating somebody, it's so tough. I think this conversation might come up later. Why did you choose to date them?
Yeah.
Because you know them or you want to get to know them? Because when we have this pushback against certain things like what we're going to wear or, you know what I'm saying, places you may go and hang out, it really makes me wonder how into this person are you?
That's valid. And I feel like that's a self-check that we should do as well. Like in the pushback, in the changing of the gym attire. Why is it that I don't want to change? Do I like the attention that I'm getting from other people? Is that why I want to keep wearing what I'm wearing, even though she's asking me not to? You know what I mean? It's important to not just pop off like, oh nah, you're not my wife or you're not my husband. I'm not changing that. It's important to do on both sides of the fence, man. It really is. But where do you stand with it?
Well, Rashonda said on the wife status, and she said, and y'all didn't work out. And so that's like the outside perspective. I feel like we did. It took a while for me to realize that, but we worked out exactly how we were supposed to. It took a minute, but that definitely worked out.
Say that.
You know what I'm saying to you? I think that oftentimes, and it's weird though, because we know that when you date somebody, it's not a guarantee for marriage. But when it doesn't end in marriage, we say it didn't work out. We know it's not a guarantee for marriage.
I think, and I agree with you. And I think people say it didn't work out because maybe it didn't work out the way you wanted it to work out.
I wanted to get to know him. If I'm looking at not me per se, I'm looking at if
Yeah.
we're looking at what dating is. You want to get to know someone. I
Yeah.
got to know you, and I realized I didn't like you. It worked out.
For you. What if it didn't work out for her?
What
She still
doesn't work
works.
out is when you want to get to know somebody and you just get left in mystery.
Ooh, like wondering.
Just wondering. Listen, Rashonda, all up under my camera. Are you wearing your short shorts now? I sure am. And if the next woman doesn't like, I might have to do a
Do a
retirement.
little turn for the camera, brother.
What we're not gonna do tonight. What we're not gonna do. I'm moving on to the next video because this is unnecessary.
You didn't answer your own question.
Oh,
The people want to know.
what
Where do
was
you
the
stand with
question?
it?
What was the
Where do
question?
you what so how soon do you have to start to tailor yourself? I know the answer. How soon are you willing to start tailoring yourself to what the person you're dating
Golly,
it is wanting you to do?
You love them. God, the language here is aggressive.
Yeah.
Not my shorts. How long?
Yeah.
Before I start making accommodations, I would say when we become like when it's exclusive dating, and you already know, like I prefer to date one person at a time. I don't really have a bandwidth for dating more than one person at a time, but that might change in the future. But as of right now, you know what I'm saying to you, when there's a clear like, yo, I am legitimately dating this person and only this person, that's when I'm open to it because I'm willing to try it, right? I'm willing to try it for a season to see how it works, and you know, it may work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it may work out to expanding my perspective because I had this conversation with a friend not too long ago about how women want to see men as husbands already. Oh, he looks responsible, the way he carries himself, the way he speaks, the way he dresses, right? And they look for that.
Yeah.
And so the conversation went to, well, what qualities kind of let you know that a woman is a wife? Because women tend to hold back showing wifely qualities until much later when they're expecting men to show husband qualities more or less up front.
That's facts.
And so I'm wondering, like, you're like, oh, she picked him because he showed these husband qualities. And now women in a large majority are wondering why they're not being chosen. And sometimes the answer is within I guess sometimes the response is going back to what they're looking for. Well, you're not showing yourself. You're not showing the qualities that he would choose you for because you're feeling like I'm not showing that until I'm a wife. But you're asking him to show husband qualities before he's a husband.
Yeah. I feel that. Real quick on IG, Ferguson Marv said if she really wants to be with the person she's dating, if they have a problem, she should change it up. Period. Dang. And then she also said, if I'm really into a guy, if he expresses concerns to me regarding anything I'm doing or saying, I will make changes.
Who said that?
That's Ferguson Marv.
She's fluid with it, man. She's fluid with it. Rashonda said, show character, not roles. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Because who people show you to be when they're single is like the majority of who they are. Not, you know, and I think sometimes when we see people and say, oh yeah, well, I'm different in relationships, I feel like I am too. You know what I'm saying to you? But they're like the outsides, like the branches, not the core of who I am. And I think that, you know, when you see someone, that's why I like friends first. When you see how they are just as a person with no responsibilities and no partnership, see if you like that. Because if you ever get into a commitment and you start to feel like you're not in a partnership with this person, or you feel like you're alone, you're single, you might start acting that way. And if that acting is very different from you, you know, and fully invested in a partnership, that may be problematic. Like you may not like them when they feel like they're single.
Yeah.
Conversation for another day. Julian said a woman won't get a ring without showing wife qualities beforehand, at least not from me. At the end of the day, women decide who they sleep with. Men decide who they marry. Yeesh. That definitely could start a conversation.
Dang. All right.
All right. So speaking of all this dating stuff like this, right? So let's move into the next video so we can get to our main topic for the night.
My problem is I don't want to date people. I want to date my wife. But to meet my wife, I have to date people. Okay, and that's where the issue starts for me, because dating as a process requires patience, effort, small talk, pretending you're interested in things that may or may not matter long term, you know, and I don't want to figure it out in real time. I don't. I want it already figured out. Okay, I don't want to analyze conversations, decode messages, wonder where things are going. I just want to arrive at the final version. But apparently, you know, there's no direct route. You know, you have to go on dates, answer the same old questions, pretend you haven't had the same conversation in slightly different formats multiple times. What do you like to do for fun? Oh God, I don't know. I'd like to survive this process. That would be great. Okay. And you have to act normal about it. You know, like this is exciting. Like we're both not just trying to figure out if this is worth continuing past tonight. Okay. Meanwhile, in my head, I'm thinking, are you my wife or not? I need to know right now. Okay. I don't feel emotionally connected to this system. Okay, but I'm willing to participate if I have to. I just wish there was a shortcut.
For those of you that don't know, my brother Donovan, this man just spoke the mind of Donovan as it pertains to dating. Oh my! It couldn't be more spot on. That's crazy.
A little wild.
That's crazy.
What
are you gonna say though? Damn.
I was gonna have just a brief conversation about the idea of dating. I'm already exhausted thinking about it. Rashana said that is my husband. So when I think about the dating, right, what he expressed was probably one of the biggest reasons why I don't want to, or I'm not interested in dating more than one person at a time.
Yeah,
I see how much it requires of you, and anybody who knows me personally knows that I have a significant amount of things on my plate. And I could make time for some dating, but only for one person when I'm able to make that time, right? But in my mind, I think the reason I put this video up is because I romanticize. And because I want to date my wife, it's hard for me to be close to somebody and go on anything that remotely looks close to a date, even if I didn't ask you on a date, and not be thinking husband-wife things. It is always on my mind when I get into those spaces.
Yeah.
First date, it's on my mind in those spaces, and I have to fight that feeling off because it's so easy for me to slip into that headspace. And I'm wondering, is that because I just want to date my wife? And so every opportunity I get to be with a woman that I'm interested in, because it is rare that I find a woman that I'm actually interested in. Right. I mean, attracted to on the outside and inside.
Yeah.
Those romanticizing thoughts they just flood immediately.
But do you ever find those thoughts useful though? Or have you since?
Useful for what?
That's what I'm asking.
I don't know how to really explain useful. Helpful? Nice? Sure. Enjoyable?
Let's go helpful. Helpful to the process of you getting any closer to marriage.
You know, I would say yes. I would say that they help me to not put up unnecessary boundaries or barriers. They also help me to not form necessary boundaries or barriers.
I'll go with the latter.
So they do both. Pookie said, this is my thought process as well. Let's skip all the back and forth. And I know that, you know, and I think a part of me is because I've talked about relationships so long, wrote a book on it, coached people on it. A part of me is like, there's nothing I can do in a dating phase. There's no question I can ask that can take the risk out of marrying somebody. I can't ask the one question that's going to for sure let me know how they're going to be for the rest of this relationship. So let me not act like there is one question. Let me not act like there is one test I can send them through that will verify this is how this person is going to be. This is who I can trust them to be. They're human. They're going to continue to change and evolve. And so I think that it's just, for me, it's just like hitting the right conversations. And then just, you know, if the answer falls within the scope of what's acceptable, then you pull the trigger.
Yeah.
I've tried
That's
that
good.
before.
Yeah.
But one of my biggest issues is, is communication. If that one don't fall within the scope of what's reasonable, I can't do it.
Yeah, I get that. Ferguson Marv said, I show wifey qualities right away because that is just who I am and how I am. She said, I cook, I clean, I cater to my man. Now, and that's cool, right? But here's my question. What if those are not wifey qualities to the person you're gonna marry? What if he don't care if you cook? What if he don't care if you clean?
What if other
So-
people already do that for him anyway?
Right. So it just leads me back to this kind of this tailoring yourself for that person. You can't go in with a generic script of this is what wifey material is or this is what husband material is, because it may be different for the person that you're dating.
What wifey material is? That's good, man.
I mean, it's cool to have some core values, right? But even sometimes those, that nigga don't care.
And I think that before we start customizing ourselves and making these accommodations, it's good to identify that, hey, that's something that they're interested in.
Right.
Not something that my ex
Mhm.
showed me they were interested in, and I believe that all men are this way.
Facts.
But for me, bro, staying on topic, man, I do romanticize often, and I can be hanging out with somebody, just getting to know them. We're not even dating or anything yet, and I'm already
Yeah.
thinking like, what would it be like being married to this person? It comes to my mind. I can't get away from it.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
And I don't think I try to get away from it. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I think it is helpful because for me, it helps me to see that when I am married,
Yeah,
I believe that that trait of mine is going to help me to be so anchored in that space.
That's good, man.
And
I
I
like
believe that in the dating phase or in the getting to know you phase or even in the friend phase with somebody that I'm attracted to, I think that it does show them clearly who I am.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of guesswork. I wonder what he would be like. It's going to be very similar to this behavior wise, except for there's going to be some very clear understandings, because of the covenant that we're under with God.
And you answer this for me, bro, because like you said, you got a lot of things on your plate right now, new book, speaking engagements, you know what I mean? Home, just a bunch of stuff.
TV show coming in. Yeah.
Hey, come on now. Hey, listen, you need a second to
No, I'm
no
good.
promos. All right. So like you were just saying, sometimes though, with like what you do that's more romanticizing, I wonder how she would be. I wonder what this would be like if we were married. Sometimes that's necessary because you're a man that knows what the calling on your life is, and you know already the type of woman that you'll need to help you move forward with your calling. So I wouldn't even necessarily call it romanticizing, bro. It's almost like a vetting process for you. You know what I'm saying? Like if I don't see these qualities, then it's almost no need for us to move forward.
No, there's not almost no need. There is no need.
There is no need.
And let me add to that, man. Not
Yeah.
only a helpmate, someone to help me move calling
For
forward.
sure.
The woman that I marry is going to be able to enjoy the fruit of my labor, stuff that I've been working on for 46 years. And so I'm not just choosing someone that I need to work with me. I'm
Yeah.
choosing someone that I want to enjoy the harvest, enjoy the return on investment for all that I've been doing my entire life.
And bro, what's crazy? Enjoy the sewing. It's gonna have to be more sewing. Somebody you can get out
but
there.
I don't want to skip past that enjoyment part.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
again,
no, for sure.
this
No,
is what
yeah,
we start
yeah.
to highlight. Oh, it's work, it's work, it's work. Like I think this is why I become so picky. Because
man.
you get to walk into and stand next to me as the return on my investment shows up, and you didn't do anything for it. And I'm okay with that. But it also makes me very picky on who I choose
Yeah.
to stand beside me and enjoy it.
As
Which
it
is why,
should.
like when I see these women who are beautiful,
Yeah.
or you know what I'm saying, and different qualities and stuff that I like. One of the things that I have to remind myself of is which one feels like peace, though. Because a lot of what I built for myself and a lot of what is coming back is because of the peaceful environment I created in my heart, my mind, and my home. And I think that a lot of times, I was talking to one of my homeboys about this just yesterday. A lot of the times we meet these women and they want you to accept them when the totality of their personality is like chaos wrapped in high standards. And you're wondering, like,
Yeah.
you're like,
Yikes. Yeah.
but you want this stable, solid,
That's wild.
sure, decisive, focused man.
Right. Right.
But if you look at yourself, do you not see how these traits that you feel like are just who you are disruptive to the greatest quality in him that you like?
Yeah.
And that's what makes
Yeah.
me, one of my friends, I remember her telling me, she was like, I don't believe I have the qualities that you need. And I can appreciate that. You know what I'm saying to you? She was fully invested in who she was, but she also knew what I needed. And I think when we made a decision in that moment, like, okay, cool. Yeah, we probably shouldn't get married, like the topic said, because so much of my life is dependent on the peace that I'm able to have in my heart, my mind, and my home. And if I find someone who doesn't value peace or doesn't even know how to create it in the days that I don't know how to bring it forward, that's going to be problematic. That can destroy everything that I've been, a lot of what I've been working on.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Your wife asked a question earlier. She said, "What are wifey qualities to you guys?" Let's do it. Let's take some time.
All right. Go ahead, brother.
Wifey qualities. And again, this question stemmed from the conversation, for those who are just joining. I see they jumped in there, that women look for men to show husband qualities up front, but they hold back their wife qualities until they're chosen. And that can be problematic because you're wondering why you're not chosen by this man that you see as a husband, but you haven't even shown what you call wife qualities yet because he hasn't chosen you. That can be problematic. Like, I'm waiting for us to be in this space, but you'll never choose me to be in that space until I show you up front, which it's a double standard. It doesn't matter. I don't mind. I'm going to show you where I'm at. And if you're not going to show me where you're at, then I'm going to move on. And you have to deal with why I didn't choose you. So, wifey qualities. What's one wifey quality? I would say one quality I would call a wifey quality is being able to sit with me or sit with a man in his emotions. I don't think I think that's a wife quality.
I like that. All right. A wife quality. So are we talking about qualities of a wife, or are we talking about qualities that we look for when we're looking for a wife?
Tell me the difference. I just got confused. Just answer either one is fine.
No, because I'm saying, because a woman that already has certain qualities and she's a wife, she may do certain things, but that may not be, like I said, that may not be necessarily what we're looking for. Because somebody could say cooking and cleaning is a wife quality, but
I think she asked, what do you call wifey qualities?
Oh, okay. All right. Let me see. I think that the biggest quality that has helped open my eyes, as far as my wife, is allowing me to be vulnerable, allowing me to shed my everyday armor, and not looking at those scars from the armor and saying, ugh, and not saying, and not looking at me like I'm grotesque, even though, when you take off their armor, all the battle wounds, all the scars, they're showing, and she still has a heart of compassion. She still has a heart of, I want to understand how did all of this happen? And she still has a heart of, not necessarily even trying to help, but just trying to understand. You know what I mean? What makes you tick? What makes you you? Why do you do these kind of things? Even if it's negative, or even if it's perceived as negative.
So if we had to create a job description for a wife or job qualifications for a wife, it sounds like we're both saying someone who is empathetic.
I like
empathetic or compassionate, even when they're emotional.
Yes. That's good. I don't know if I was talking to you or I don't know, or Janae. I don't know who I was talking to, but feeling safe, bro. I feel like it's so underrated for men. We always hear about women say, "I need to feel safe with a man. A man needs to make me feel safe when I'm hitting." Well, shit, a woman needs to make a man feel safe too, in his emotions, and his rage, and his feeling unsure of himself. Like a lot of those emotions, I was never really been able to express when I was in romantic relationships. I had to keep everything together. I have to seem solid all the fucking time.
Okay. One, you have to ask if they were a wife or not. And in your situation, I know,
I'm talking,
one of them
yeah.
was. Two, I kind of struggle with that make me feel safe thing, right?
Not make me feel safe, but create a safe environment for me to be able to do so. You don't have to. Only I can make me feel safe. But if the
that's why I
environment
was
is
at it.
not here, then
So for me, it's more or less show me the kind of environment you think that I would thrive in, that you think would work for me. Let me see it. And if it doesn't work for me, then we can just say, "Oh, this doesn't work," and we don't have to be together. I think
Or-
trying to get somebody to cook something they ain't never cooked before, nor did they know the recipe to, nor were they built to make. I don't want to put that kind of pressure on anybody.
I get it, and I think for me, I'm more so of, I like spaghetti. I like the way my mom cooks spaghetti. Let me show you how to cook it a few times. That way you can get good at it, and then I'll be able to enjoy it because I like you. I want to be with you, so I'm not gonna just say you can't cook my mama's spaghetti. So I'm cool. I don't want to be with you.
Okay, I see where we're different at. Yeah. Is there any other wife responsibilities or wife qualifications that you would say? Wife qualifications that you would say exist for you if we were doing a job description?
Wife qualities. I know we've said this word a bunch of times, but it stuck with me ever since you said it, and it makes me melt every time I hear it. Just that kindness aspect, and I'm not just saying just be kind to me. When you're a kind person, when you're kind to the waiter, when you're kind to the lady at the gym, the gym clerk, when you're kind to the gas station attendant, when you're kind to your friends, you know what I mean? When you're kind to your damn enemies, people that don't even give two shits, like that for me is so rare. For me, it's so rare. So to be able to marry that and be with that every day, like, yikes.
I'm not trying to be dramatic here, but it whenever I say it and whenever I hear it, I always ask myself, where have we gotten to as a race to where kindness is rare and something that if we find in a woman, we're like, oh my God, I did never thought in a million years I would find a kind one. That's like trying to a polka dot polar bear, man. It's like, where have we gotten? And maybe I am being dramatic because it's not across the world. Maybe it's just here in LA.
Damn,
You know what I'm saying to you? So, I just try to be be careful with that because it's almost like we have a wish list that we would love to be asking for right now.
Yeah.
But there's so many essentials that are missing that we have to stay with the basics.
Yeah,
And that's just a rough conversation to have. But beside the point, the conversation we're having, I want to add reliable and responsible.
I like both of those a lot.
To the list. Me and my friend were having a conversation about, I think I sent you the video, like women love to be big babies when they get with their man, right? Turning my brain off and just be, you know what I'm saying to you? And I was sharing with them how men, we don't have a space nor an expectation in the future to ever be there. You know what I'm saying to you? At the most, we would love to have a home we could come to, a lap we can lay our head in to turn off for a little bit. But the issue is that when a woman relies on us, or the wife relies on us, the kids rely on us, the community relies on us, anytime we ever feel overwhelmed or feel like we want to just check out for a little bit, everybody feels danger because we're the ones who are providing and protecting. It's almost like the warriors go to sleep. No, the warriors cannot sleep. And that's the weight that we feel sometimes, which is why having a wife who understands that and doesn't panic when you need time to breathe or cry, when you need time to lay your head down, say, babe, I just don't want to think for the rest of the night, and not panic. Like that quality is is top tier?
So I think one, agree 1000%. I think what happens when the woman doesn't panic, for me, it shows, oh, you trust me. You know that even though I need to close my eyes, I need to rest, I still got us. And you trust yourself enough to know I gotta let my king sleep, so I'm gonna hold it down while he takes a nap real quick because he's been in battle all day.
Yeah.
It's cold. It's a cold partnership, bro.
And I love the idea of my wife being this big baby and being able to turn that off. I also love the idea of when we're trying to handle business, that you have some wherewithal inside of you to know how to handle business. That you have, like, if I'm sick or something like that, you know how to, through the feminine lens that you have, substitute in some areas temporarily. You know what I'm saying to you? I don't want just a beautiful ditzy woman.
I do. I think I showed it when we were at dinner on Friday night. Just watching Janae just get in her mode of,
Oh my God. When I tell y'all Mike loves his wife, I'm not even gonna tell you what happened, but just know that he loves his wife in a very inappropriate way in public. So I got a question for you on IG, Mike. The question from my sister is, are we supposed to show wife qualities to a man we're dating? And my question back to her was, do you expect to see husband qualities from a man you're dating?
I think the answer to both is however she answers that question.
Got it.
So it meaning if you want to see me doing some things that husbands do, then you got to show up in turn. Like you got to do some things that wives would do. We both, because it's not just you that's trying to get married out here. If I'm hoping it's not just you, but if it's both
again, remember that goes back to the question. Some people want a husband. Some people want to be a wife. It's different. It's different when I say I want a wife versus I want to be a husband.
Some people just want to be married.
I want to be chosen. And so as I'm having these wonderful conversations, and me and Mike had one other day just about the amount of women we know that want to be stay-at-home wives. And I think one of my friends has successfully or halfway successfully entered that world. And I'm very happy for her. But we're having a quick little conversation about, then what are the responsibilities? If you're a stay-at-home wife and you don't want to be at home all day. She was like, I don't want to be in the house. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I handle my house responsibilities, but I also want to go outside. I want to go do these things, right? So we were joking, but it left me with the question of, if a man said you don't have to pay another bill or worry about any like financial responsibilities, if you found a man that was willing to do that for you, what would you be willing to do for him? What about you would make a man willing to do that? Besides the fact that you want it and you think you're pretty, what quality do you think a man that is willing to do that for his wife, what quality do you think he would appreciate inside of a woman? What quality do you think that he will require inside of a woman if he said, you don't have to worry about none of this? And I don't think that some of them, not all of them, some of them who told me they want to be a stay-at-home wife, I don't think they've actually asked that question. Like, why would he? Because that's a great role.
Yeah, it's solid.
Why would someone choose me for that role? And I'm not saying that you have to shuck and jive for it, but I believe that if you ask yourself that, there's certain qualities that every man may find to say, yes, that is going to be important.
Outside, I like that you said outside of being pretty, you know what I mean? Outside of having a fat ass, outside of having good vagina, like outside of those things that society has said, that's why men will blow a bag.
Yeah.
Okay, it has to be something else outside of that. Well, it should be. It doesn't have to be. It should be.
Let's see what our online sister said. She said, I'm not computing. How are we working to prove our worth as spouse Love is not something you earn. You'll just know, discern this is your person or not.
Mhm.
Okay. You got anything for that?
Let me see. Put it up again. I got it. I'm not computing. How are we working to prove our worth as spouse? Love is not something you earn. You'll just know, discern this is your person or not. Mm.
I'll go ahead, man.
No, I'm saying to me because in follow up, it was she said I'm not auditioning for nobody.
Okay.
I I got to go back to the job scenario. We'll go and we'll put on a show to get a job, but for the person we want to be with for the rest of our lives that can add to our legacy, that can add to our purpose, we won't do the same. We won't audition. You can call it audition, call it whatever you want to call it, but I want that person to see my best qualities. I wanted to impress Janae. I wanted to. I did things. I asked her questions. What are you like? I gathered data so that I could impress her, so she could see. You know what I mean? The value that I could possibly add.
An audition is a short trial performance where a singer, actor, dancer, or musician demonstrates their talents to secure a role, job, or placement. As a verb, it means to participate in this process. And so I'm wondering, because of the English language and how we use one word for so many different definitions, what is it, Rashonda, about the auditioning that is a turnoff for you to make sure we're looking at the right definition? She said, but I didn't perform. I was just being myself and I was married before. Okay. Which is also possible. I think the conversation that we're having today is the consideration.
Yeah.
What would a guy like that want? And I'm not saying that he will ever require it of you, because some guys will marry you and not require anything of you. But I'm asking you to ask yourself, is that what that person deserves?
Yeah.
If you found somebody, if a man found a woman that was willing to give him the world and the nurture of his children in a way he could never imagine, what does she deserve from you? I'm not really talking about you would have to audition, but it's good to consider within your own heart and your own mind, as much as this person has done for me and as beautiful as they've made my life, what do they deserve from me? And you can do that before you get into that space. If I do find a woman that's willing to do these big asks that I have when it comes to my children and homeschooling or private school, and the way I'd like to engage in premarital counseling before we get married, or in these date nights, or in these adventures in
Yeah.
marriage, when I think about a woman that would be willing to do that for me, what would I want to just give her and shower her with
Yeah, man.
in return? It's not an
Yeah.
audition in the literal sense. It's just
Right.
asking yourself to consider, so that you don't find yourself finally experiencing what you've prayed for and not appreciating it the way that you could, not appreciating it to your maximum, because then that's how you spoil the thing that you've been praying for.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I want to tap into what Leah J said. She said, don't try to impress women. Just be yourself. Let her see your heart. And I mean that. The rest will come. And I feel like that's 1000% true. I'm not I think she was referring when I said I was trying to impress Janae. Janae is my wife. So, I don't try to impress women. I was trying to impress the woman that I was going to marry, which I did marry, and we've been together for 5 years. So in that case, I think that, you know what I mean? I agree with her. You shouldn't just go out and just trying to impress every woman that you encounter, thinking that that's going to get you a leg up or get you a hand up in whatever it is your goal is. But me and Janae's situation, I think, is a lot different, because I saw something in her that I already knew far before we got married, that this was going to be it.
And so that goes back to our first conversation of the night, right? At what point do you feel like it's healthy or wise to start trying to impress your person? Is this once they become fiance, or this once they become wife, or once you settle in your head and your heart, like, no, this is my person, even if you're still in the dating arena?
That's a good question. I think for me, it was when I saw myself wanting to be more, wanting to achieve more, wanting to do more, wanting, just wanting more, to be a better person, to go through therapy, to be the best person I could possibly be. And not just for myself. Of course, that was first, but that second person was for this woman, that I wanted to marry.
So check this out. The definition of impress, right? Impress generally means to affect someone deeply or favorably, or to fix an idea in the mind. Also refers to stamping a mark. Those are not the ones we want to look at. To impress generally means to affect someone deeply or favorably.
And what's wrong with that? People look at it as something negative.
Now, so that's what I'm saying. But at some point, I think it's unnecessary and unfavorable to try to do that. When you are getting to know someone, why would your desire be to deeply to affect someone deeply or favorably when you don't really know them yet?
At that, so I agree. When you don't know them, so that's why I agree with Leah, because she said, "Don't just get out here trying to impress women," and I agree with that 1000%.
Yeah, because you might impress her so much, and then you can't get rid of her when you find out you don't want her. So just hold on. Right. Once you identify that you want her, and now you're trying to build a future with her, start doing the little things like, okay, I'm about to impress her. I'm showing up to work, or I'm sending the flowers, or all these other things. And be careful though, because sometimes you can think that someone's trying to impress you when they just was raised right.
Right.
Sometimes you could think somebody is flirting with you when they were just raised right. Like they just have good manners.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying to you? So I think we also have to be careful about misinterpreting people's behavior to think that they're trying to impress me or they're flirting with me. It's not always.
Girl, this man opened the door for me today.
Yeah, he wants the draws. Yeah. Ali said, as an example of where it is unfavorable is when he tries to show off his car. I don't care what he drives as long as it's safe.
That's funny.
I like that. Amber said, what if that's just your personality? For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to the next video, man. Gee whiz, man. I think where are we at? 907. All right. I'm trying to see where I want to go next. This is interesting. I feel like that's going to stir up some stuff I don't really want to get into yet. I want to touch on this video because it's something that you've mentioned on the podcast often. And I want to see what your take is on it. I'm going to stop there.
Do not marry someone that you never argue with. Marry someone you argue well with. That means that when you have an argument, you reach good compromises. You have a good recovery time. In other words, it doesn't take you days of miserable toxicity to get good again. It takes you minutes or hours. You're both good at coming to the table to apologize and soften. It's not always the same person who has to save the two of you every time you have an argument. And by the way, you only know these things by having hard conversations early on and being able to talk about the big stuff so that you know who you are when there are differences in opinions. And the goal isn't to agree on everything. You won't, and that's fine. But it is to make sure that you understand each other's expectations and you know ahead of time that you can handle the differences. Do not.
You already know what I'm gonna say. Let me go. Before I say it though, I looked up the definition of argument. An argument is a set of reasons aimed at persuading someone that a specific claim or conclusion is true. It can also mean a verbal disagreement or a structured debate. Let's stick with that first one. An argument is a set of reasons aimed at persuading someone that a specific claim or conclusion is true. And I think that the only time really that becomes an argument is when the other person doesn't agree. Because if I agree with it, why did you have to persuade me?
Okay. I was going to say, I don't think that an argument is a disagreement. I believe that an argument is when you're not okay with the disagreement. Because
Right. Oh, right.
we
Right.
can agree to disagree, but when
Mhm.
I have to, when I have to convince you that I'm right and you're wrong, therein is the intention behind the arguing, in my opinion. But per that definition, it sounds like arguing is okay. So let's stick to this video.
Yeah.
I know you and Janae have never argued,
Yeah.
but what he's saying is that he did say don't marry anyone you don't argue with, which we'll
That's
skip past that part and
what?
let's just for the sake of conversation.
Okay. All right.
What do
All
you
right.
think about valuing someone that you argue well with?
No, it's good, man. It's solid. And so from that standpoint of argument, we'll say disagreement, because one of the definitions was to disagree. So in that instance, I think that if you can disagree with somebody, me and you disagree very well.
On
You
the
know what I mean?
podcast. Do you disagree?
Nope.
Okay.
See?
That was our argument. That was
on the podcast. I don't disagree, but on Tuesday, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Y'all don't know, me and Mike meet every Tuesday for brother accountability time. And Mike's favorite line is, I'm gonna give you some unsolicited advice.
Yep.
And we definitely do not agree on some very important things. And it honestly, if we don't argue, we actually end up laughing most of the time.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. So no, I think if you can find somebody that that you can disagree with, even if it's a passionate disagreement, and it doesn't turn to bickering, arguing. Well, see, it doesn't turn into bickering, yelling, saying things that we don't mean. You know what I mean? Any regrets after that conversation, you guys can both leave. Even if you guys didn't agree, you guys can both leave feeling good and feeling like, okay, it's not like I don't like you right now. Let's go get some lunch. Let's go have dinner together. Something like that. I feel like it's dope, man. And it's valued because, you see so many of these, reality TV, and everybody knows that couple that all they do is argue, and they think that it's just passion. We just love each other, and this is how we show, And I'm like, okay, I mean, if being angry at each other and calling each other out their name is how you view love.
Yeah. So let me tag on to that, because what I found out here in this world is that a lot of people identify with being spicy and petty.
Yeah.
And so that shows up a lot in disagreements. And again, instead of leaning towards self-development and evolution, doing some self-work, people are more or less like, no, this is just who I am. It doesn't mean I don't love you. Well, I don't like to be cussed at and talked to crazy. That's who I am.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, I wonder how much of where we say, oh, this is just who I am, is really rooted in something different. Rooted in more of maybe a unwillingness to change.
Yeah.
Or some kind of personality trait that we think is keeping us safe.
Yeah. Or a personality trait that was put on us by other people. Oh, that Donnie, he just always, that's just who he is. Or that Mike, that's just who you asshole. That's just who he is. I used to identify that.
Man.
I used to call myself that because other people have called me that. You know what I mean? But I agree with you 1000%. I think though, bro, when it comes to your partner, your woman, your man, I don't want to treat her like I treat everybody, even if I am petty with everybody else. I don't want to treat my partner that way. The person that I come home to every day.
So let's go back to these wife qualities.
Yeah.
If you know that you are a spicy personality, kind of catty, petty person, just not, and your friends love it and everybody gets a kick out of it, bring that into the dating space. At what point should a person say, hey, maybe I should tone this down, because it's like trying to catch fish with vinegar?
If it's negatively affecting the person that you truly want to be with, that's the time to assess, like, damn, okay, she really not feeling this.
And see, so this is the issue though, because how does someone ever get to know you if you're hiding behind
Yeah.
this trait that's truly not who you are, it's something that you've picked up. I don't think that anybody is naturally like, I know that we say culturally white women could be this way, black women could be this way, Latina women can be this way. But I'm wondering if you don't really take a look at who you are prior to that being your culture, and I'm gonna say this because Mike has said it often, that might be the reason that you're single. And I'm not saying single is a bad place to be, but if you're done with it and you're tired of it, let me say it a different way, that may be sabotaging what it is that you really want out of life and out of relationships.
Yeah, that very well could be, brother.
So my sister said arguing is let me pull this over here so I can see it. Said arguing well is top tier in a relationship. I don't want to feel like I can't address topics that I'm passionate about because I'm afraid that he won't talk to me for a day or give me the cold shoulder. Let me ask you this, Kima, just because you're passionate about a topic, how do you express that passion? Just because you're passionate about something, does that give you the right to yell and to use, vulgarity or abusive words all under the, hey, I'm just passionate? Just a question. I don't think that's your personality type at all, but I just want you to answer that.
That's solid. And why does a passionate topic have to turn into an argument? Like, why is arguing well important? Why don't we just not argue? Why does argument even have to be in the conversation? Why is that like a prerequisite to have a good marriage? Is if you argue well? Why don't we just not argue?
I don't think some people believe it's possible. If you tell some people, say you can have a marriage without arguing, some people, I don't believe that. And therein is why you have to argue, because you don't believe that it's not possible. Which is,
I understand that like 100% because I didn't believe that it was possible either. Every relationship I've ever been in has gotten to some kind of argument, except this one.
So check this out. When someone says I'm passionate about that, that means that the speaker has a deep, intense interest, enthusiasm, or emotional dedication towards a specific subject, hobby, or cause. And so I'm wondering, how does the voice get higher? How does the words get more colorful? There's a emotional component that is now introduced when it's something that you're passionate about. And you already know, what I'm saying, when the emotions are kind of like lighter fluid. You know what I'm saying? Now, they don't make you angry. They don't make you aggressive. They don't make you rude or zood, right? They just heighten what's already in you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? So I'm wondering, some people who are aggressive and rude when they're passionate, the emotion wasn't the issue. It just heightened what was already inside of you. So maybe that is something you have to look at as well. When people have a hard time understanding you on subjects you're passionate about, but you still want them to understand, maybe again, there is some self-work that can be done there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
What are you saying? Why is argue synonymous with communication?
Yeah.
Communication, I know by definition, is the exchanging of ideas. Yeah, I guess it shouldn't be synonymous because arguing is not the exchange. I think when you read the definition, it said about trying to convince, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think communication is just the offering and exchange. Here's my idea. Here's yours. We communicate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what comes in and what makes that seeming to be simple communication is when one or the other person doesn't agree, and now they try to make the other person agree with whatever it is their viewpoint is on the subject. That's when it stops being communication.
What's interesting about all that is that I guess we have to consider that what one person may call spicy, one person may call normal.
Yeah.
Because Mike had a burrito the other day that almost took him out. Mike was about to be in the hospital.
I had to tell the manager about it.
And somebody orders that on a consistent basis, right? Yep. And so sometimes if you grew up in a household with spicy women, or you grew up in a household with machismo men, what somebody else may be offended by may seem normal to you.
That's good, man. That's a good.
And that's why, all men are not built to date like Nigerian women
Yeah.
or Puerto Rican women because they're known for being
Haitian.
loud, right?
Yeah.
Or Haitian, right? Or not every woman is built, you know what I'm saying, to be with a Jamaican man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you because they're like, oh no. My nervous system wasn't built for that kind of environment. But somebody else is like, oh girl, that's fine. And this goes back to the conversation me and Mike had the other day. You can love somebody and not be built for them.
Mm-hmm.
You can love somebody and not be built to do relationship and partnership with them.
Yeah.
And that's something we have to sometimes sit with. And that's why the title of tonight's show is why we shouldn't marry one another. Because I love you, but I'm not built for your personality type, or I'm not built for the thing you've been called to do in life.
Sheesh. Oh, I like what Amber said. AJ said it could be a wound. I think she's referring to the reason that this person is spicy is from a wound.
And I'm slow to diagnose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? I'm slow to diagnose, but it very well could be.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. All right. All right. So what we at 9:20? Okay, I'm just watching the time because we're gonna get to these videos. So I'm about to make a turn, right? So this girl had put a video up. I broke it up into 2 parts. I'm wondering if we should do that and then end with the whole topic of the show. Sound like a good idea? Okay.
Yep.
This girl, I got a few videos from her that I'm going to put on this show. The reason I want to put these videos up tonight is because last week we talked about how to or why to keep testing your boyfriend or girlfriend, testing the person that you're dating. She had a very unique perspective on this whole testing thing.
Go even deeper here. When you do that push and pull, right?
Sorry, that's the second one. Here we go.
Some of you didn't just randomly lose your man. You tested him into emotional exhaustion. And if you keep playing games with your man, you are going to lose him. You are actually training your man to resent you. And you may call it, I'm just seeing if he still cares. I just need reassurance. I'm just making sure that he still loves me. But what it actually looks like to him is this push and pull, okay? You acting cold, you withholding affection, you creating problems out of nowhere. So I'm gonna say it to you like this: in his eyes, you didn't want love. You wanted proof that you're lovable over and over and over and over and over again. And before you argue with me, okay? What you don't realize is that every test that you set up for him felt like a trap. Okay, let's just give an analogy. It's like someone who's gonna go take a test, and every single time they pass the tests just keep coming, and they're harder and more emotionally exhausting, each one. And no matter how many times he passes a test, you keep creating a new one for him. And eventually, your man's gonna stop studying. Not because he doesn't care about you, but he's tired of failing your mental gymnastics, your mental games. Constant testing does not build trust. It actually builds resentment. And I'm gonna go even.
What'd you think about that first video, bro?
I liked it. I've been in this situation before, and it's like you pass one test, and it's like, well, okay, well, here's another one, and it's like, well, damn, I thought I got it, and here's another one. And exactly what she said. You stop studying. The relationship is not even like there's no life in a relationship. It's just full of tests. Like
and not because they were trying to vet you.
No.
They were vetting love.
Yeah.
It wasn't you that they didn't believe in because they've seen you pass the test over and over again.
Exactly.
They struggle with the idea of love.
Yeah.
And so, we can have conversation and debate about that. But I want to touch on something she said, bro. She talked about the women's need for reassurance.
Yeah.
Which we understand as it just comes to territory. It's a necessary thing.
Mm.
But at what point does the need for reassurance move into an unhealthy space?
When so for me, it starts to get unhealthy when, just an example, babe, do I look fat today? on Monday. Oh, babe, no, you look good. I think you look good. Okay, babe, Tuesday. Do you think I look fat? No, babe, I think you look Wednesday. Babe. Okay, so this you don't care what I'm saying. You have I could say yes for the rest of your life and you would still feel like you're overweight. So this don't have nothing to do with am I overweight? This has to do with you constantly needing somebody to tell you something, but that's not the issue. The issue is that even if people keep telling you whatever it is that you need to hear or that you keep asking, it's never going to register because you already have a belief of what or who you are in your head.
Okay. And so my question is though, is that unhealthy?
For me, it is.
What makes that unhealthy? That level of need for reassurance?
I think for me, because there's a deeper issue that you need to unroot. And you're not, and my reassurance is not the answer.
Okay. And so is it unhealthy for you or for them?
I think it's unhealthy for them.
Okay. And so that's what I'm asking, kind of like on the side of at what point is it unhealthy? Because she used the example of a woman asking for reassurance over and over again as this test that can begin to be emotionally exhausting for the man. From the way that I see it, if you're in a relationship with someone, or you're, fiance, you're married to someone, it's an honor to kind of walk with them through the reassurance process to rebuild maybe some of their security, some of their self-confidence.
Yeah.
And so I understand if this is happening in the dating arena, how it can be exhausting more quickly because my tolerance is much lower. But if it's with my wife, I'm under the impression that this is what I signed up for when it comes to this reassurance component. Am I off base with that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that. You said I am off base.
No. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was reading. I was reading something.
Nigga, me and everybody in the audience picked up on that. Nigga, he can hit you with the yeah. Mike is already mentally exhausted from this podcast. Rashonda said, "When you aren't real with the root cause and don't do anything to change it," and I'm slow to say that even that is unhealthy because I recognize that everything requires a process.
Right, but does the process have to include me for 5 years, or at some point since you start to gain control and realize, okay, this is something like for me, I had to go through some things in before me and Janae got married. Had nothing to do with her. Of course, she was there for through some of it to try to help me out and encourage me and things of that nature. But at some point, I had to say, this don't got nothing to do with Janae. I need to get on my shit and do this particular thing. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. I think for me, I am looking at this through the lens of questioning when people say they want to be married.
Yeah.
Are you considering what you signed up for?
They should.
Because if you're talking about, I'm exhausted from reassuring my woman, and that's your wife. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I am saying when you find yourself exhausted from doing that, do you give up or do you turn it back on her? Or do you find a new way to try to reassure her? Because some part of the relationship, I think we said before on this podcast, some things can't be healed until you get into a relationship.
For sure.
Some of the things that you've had to overcome. I think the part of why a lot of people look for a partner is because they want someone to walk with them through some of those more challenging parts of evolution, through those more challenging parts of recovery. And so that's what I'm asking. Like, what do you believe you're signing up for? Because some people may need a person that's way more healed because they're not what they're looking for in marriage.
I think that's 1%, 100% accurate. But again, with going back to the reassurance part of it, I agree with you to an extent. No, I agree with you. There you should want to reassure your wife and to help her, you know what I mean, get back on her own 2 feet and maybe even find herself. But we're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to communicate. I'm gonna ask you, why do you feel the need to keep asking me the same things if I'm telling you this? Is it, you know what I mean? Like, we just not gonna reassure for 10 years. We just not gonna do that
What are
without
we gonna do?
without conversation. We're gonna have a conversation.
I'm about to say it sounds like an ultimatum. Like,
It
you married
is.
that person. What we gonna do? We're gonna get a divorce?
No, the ultimatum is we need to communicate. If without communication, none of this shit gonna work.
Okay. And not work means what?
The marriage can't work without communication. What, I'm gonna talk to myself?
That means we're gonna dissolve the marriage.
Yes, that's what that
Okay.
means.
And the reason I'm asking that because last week we talked about people get married so that they can open up about certain things that are happening inside of them with someone that they know won't leave them. Sometimes we find ourselves waiting to expose the darkest parts of ourselves with someone that we know is not going to leave us. And sometimes the darker the part that we're exposing to our partner, the bigger the process that will be involved. And so when I hear what I'm hearing now, I'm
Yeah.
just careful to not over personalize my partner's issue to the point that it drains me so much that I'm willing to exit the marriage. What did
Yeah.
I think I was signing up for? Maybe the exhaustion is that I'm playing a role in this healing that I don't need to play. Maybe I should be, hey, come here, baby, let's pray.
Mhm.
Versus thinking that it's going to be solely on me to reassure you into
Well,
health.
that's what we were talking about, though. We were talking about us reaffirming, and I'm saying for that reaffirming part, it is gonna take a toll.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And I feel like if we're married and we don't know what we signed up for. We haven't discussed what we signed up for. And to me, if we're talking about a person that needs to be reassured, I would think while you guys were dating, while you guys were going through the process of being engaged, you saw some signs of that before you got married. Why wasn't it a conversation before you got married? She didn't all of a sudden start going through all of this. I need to be affirmed every day the day y'all got married.
I think that no. So when we talk about relationships, there's a such thing as stage fright. When
Yes.
people who want to be chosen are finally chosen, sometimes the weight or the highlight of the chosenness brings up insecurity they didn't know that they had.
Okay.
They
Okay.
just knew that I needed to be chosen. That's what every woman or man is looking for, to be chosen. It's almost like somebody's want to get that role. They get it, and then they're like, "Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm nervous now
Yeah.
that I'm being asked to perform."
Yeah.
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 I think it's just something to pay attention to.
Yeah.
But
No,
going
you
back,
have to. Yeah, you have to.
going back to the video where she was talking about how you can test this man or this guy you're dating into emotional exhaustion. That's why you might end up being single. What kind of advice would you give someone who feels like all these tests are necessary? Rashada said, "This is not helping me. I'm gonna stay single." Listen, we just trying to help you with your radar. Know what to look out for.
Maybe the best thing to do is stay single. Shit. Who
Maybe
knows?
some people it is, because when you think about being someone's life partner, their forever person, I think we sometimes think about, the person I do vacations with and I get to go to these events with, but do you want to hold hands with someone while they do their self-work? While they continue to evolve or overcome or heal?
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro. What was you gonna say?
Nah, yeah. What was your question?
What advice would you give someone who feels like they need to do all these tests?
Damn. I don't.
Love our internet sister.
Yeah.
No advice. Go with God or whoever will take you.
Nah, it's not even advice, bro. You know me, man. I need to ask some like questions. Like, why do you feel the need to give so many tests? I get the vetting process. I get, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to see if this guy is really serious. Or I'm just trying to see if this woman, you know, loves me for me and not for what I get those type of, you know what I mean, even with that, I feel like communication is best. But if you feel like you need to test away. But then now we talking about it's always a test. Like there's not even a relationship. There's only the person that's giving the quiz and the person that's taking the quiz. Why do you feel a need? Like what is it based on insecurity? Is it based on not being sure of love? Not even in a person at this point, but like I think you hit the nail on the head. Like a lot of times, I want to say a lot of times, sometimes these people are not even testing the person. They're testing to see if love is really what love is. Like, is this really possible to really have this type of relationship, whether it's a relationship with no arguing, whether it's a relationship with 100% monogamy, whether it's, whatever the case may be. But I personally don't subscribe to the testing thing. Like, because eventually the person's true self is going to surface. I feel like
you're paying attention.
Booyah.
So Niall said the advice I would give them is to tell them they have to choose somebody that they're so confident in terms of how much the person loves them and how strong a relationship is that insecurities don't even come across their mind. Those kind of things are not an issue.
I think that insecurity is not based on the other person. The insecurity is based on something I have inside myself. It's not based on Janae. Because if I have some type of insecurity about myself, I could be with Janae, I could be with Betty, I could be with Maria, I could be with whoever. That insecurity is going to still be within me. And Janae can't solve that or fix that. I have to fix or solve that.
So it's interesting you said that, because I'm wondering, is there a role that our partner can play, though, that helps?
Yes.
So they may not be able to totally fix it themselves, but are they a piece to the puzzle?
I feel like the right partner can definitely be a significant piece to the puzzle. For me, it was the suggestion of, have you ever considered therapy? I could only receive that from her.
Yeah.
And then the patience and the understanding and the things that you get from your wife that you need, or your woman at the time that you need. Yeah. So for sure, I feel like your partner definitely can play a pivotal role, but it can't be, she can't take on all of the, I can't just dump it all on her and say, okay, do this for me.
Got you. On that note, check out the rest of her video.
Go even deeper here. When you do that push and pull, right, as a test, what you're actually training him to do is believe that closeness will come with conflict. Yeah. You're also teaching him that effort will always lead to it never being good enough. So you're actually creating a quite passive, avoidant man eventually. He's going to start to detach, not instantly, but gradually. All right. And you're going to be like, oh, he changed. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't change. He adapted. He didn't stop loving you. He just got tired of trying to prove that he loves you. That's why there's now less emotion, less effort. It's like when your phone is on 1%, right? And you're trying to play games on your phone and you're trying to open up apps, and then you're shocked that it shut down on you. You drained the battery, sweetheart. You drained the relationship until there was nothing left to give. And I want to let you know that this stems from anxiety, constant fear, and constantly trying to control the outcome. If you do not feel secure with yourself, you're going to constantly need reassurance, and you're constantly going to create scenarios in your relationship for them to try to prove or give you that reassurance that you're looking for. That's a deep insecurity in you. And then when they're so drained in the relationship, you go and say, see, you never loved me. If you need to constantly test love, then you don't trust it. And if you don't trust it, then you're going to destroy the love you have, trying to confirm that it was breakable.
Jesus. Damn. All right. Ooh. That last part, I feel like she hit the nail on the head. That last couple sentences.
So we got to learn to tell people it's not me you don't trust. You don't trust love.
Sheesh, bro.
So we'll have more from her next week. I already got another video in the queue ready for her next week. But
Sheesh.
on that note of trying to prove to someone that you love them, I've been there.
Yeah.
And I thought it was admirable.
Mhm.
And as I look back at our previous conversation about if a person needs an abundance of reassurance, why am I so willing to participate? Because if I can help you get healed, that reassures my confidence
Come on, man.
as a fixer or a
Come on,
provider.
man. Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying to you? So
Yes.
how
Yes.
healthy is the person that's willing to put down their life to help this person who's not their spouse through a situation that is really not surrounded around them?
Jesus.
You know what I'm saying to you? And I think that
Yeah.
I've been there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Captain save them or just try to fix them. My
Yeah.
willingness stems from a deficit within myself about who I believe that I am. And so that's something I had to address. It takes a lot of trust in God and trust in the people going through their process to step back and say they'll be okay without me. That's not for
Mhm.
me. If I
Mhm.
walk away from this because it's too much or not what I've been called to, that doesn't make me a failure or a bad man. And I didn't
Yeah.
always feel that way.
Man, you took the words out of my mouth. Like sometime back then, it did feel like you failed. You know what I mean? I've been doing all these things. It starts to feel like I've been jumping through hoops, and I've used that exact verbiage before. I've been jumping through hoops. I've been doing everything she's asked me. And it don't feel like she appreciates it. It don't feel like I'm doing enough. And then you don't leave because you're trying to be the admirable guy. You're trying to be the stand-up guy.
You're trying to be the savior.
For sure.
Because
But
you want the glory.
I feel like a part of that is that, but when you're and for me, I'm talking about my first marriage. Like there was, so many signs to not be there, but you know what I mean. You're told, when you get married, you're not supposed to divorce, and then you know what I mean. You replay. If I get divorced, then that means I was a bad husband. That means I didn't do everything that I possibly could.
Yeah.
You go through the whole rabbit hole, bro. And then you had a kid together. So then you don't want to, you know what I mean, damage that aspect of it. But the initial thing is, like she said, like the test and the hoops that you have these people jump through is not, they're not the issue. Love for you is the issue. And I think that I don't even know if I blame the people for it, because I don't even think that they know sometimes why they're doing it.
And I think that sometimes we're just repeating what we've seen.
Yeah.
Without knowing, right? And I
Yeah.
think this goes both ways, right? Where was it at earlier? What up, Gina? She said, in the same way, when a man continues to accuse his woman, his woman, she is cheating. Deep insecurity, 1% battery. I think that when it comes to a person continually testing you to try to convince them of anything, and you guys are, that's an issue.
Yeah, it is, bro.
But work with me on this though.
Let's go.
Because if I am constantly testing you so that you can convince me that something I believe isn't true, this goes back to our earlier conversation about how can I make someone feel something? Isn't that the same thing?
Yeah.
He makes me feel a certain way. She makes me feel a certain way. A lot of that sounds like the same situation. You're putting all this responsibility on this other person to change how you feel. It's your choice. Convince me to feel something different. And I think that that's where, if you're doing that, you got to recognize what you're doing to this person. Like, you have to take accountability for how you feel. And if that's being done to you, you got to recognize that it's not your responsibility 100% to change the way this person feels. Yes, your participation in their life impacts the environment that does inform their feeling.
There it is. Yeah.
But it's not 100% your responsibility. You can never 100% convince them if they're not willing to try to convince themselves.
Yeah, man.
All right, man. So it's 9:45. We got 15 minutes left. Let's go ahead and get into tonight's topic. Man, those videos were good. So
Mm-hmm.
this is from Mike's favorite celebrity. So we're gonna spend the last few minutes having a conversation. You ready, Michael?
No.
All right.
You can love a person, miss a person so much, but still have the wisdom to know they're not your person and you're better off not together. That like opposite connection with everything, I think is really important to have that awareness in everything in life, relationships, material things, all of that.
You need that one more time at the beginning?
Sure.
You can love a person, miss a person so much, but still have the wisdom to know they're not your person and you're.
You think that's true?
Yeah.
What does it mean when someone says that that's not your person or they are my person?
I think when because I feel like that's a fairly new thing, that terminology, my person. I feel like they mean that the one person that I'm supposed to be with, the soulmate, that type of deal.
So they are my person is a term of endearment indicating an incredibly deep, trusted, and unconditional bond with someone. It signifies that the person is your primary source of support, someone who understands you completely, similar to a soulmate, and who is your go-to in good times and bad, which means that it's not specific to romantic.
Yeah.
So my person, when I think about my person, I think my mom got this shirt. There was this phrase going around for a while that said, "I need me a me."
Yeah.
And so this phrase always reminds me of I need me a me. And when I hear the phrase I need me a me or that's my person, it sounds like what we used to say back in the day, like you're just looking for your tribe. You're looking for people who get you. Not necessarily are exactly like you, but when you say I need me a me, someone who shares some of the same core values as I do, some of the same core perspectives as I do, right? And so when you say that that's not your person, I want to have a conversation maybe for the next few minutes about you love them, you miss them,
Yeah.
but they're not your person.
Yeah.
How do you get there?
You love them, but that's not your person. I think that people, because the relationship, I won't just say romantic relationship, because as we've determined, it's not just for romantic relationships, but because the relationship didn't work out the way that person wanted it to, because we had a falling out, because you know what I mean, he cheated or she cheated, because all of these things, then all of a sudden I may have loved them, but they're not my person anymore, which I think is not, I don't think that that's completely crazy.
So what do you think about this? McJellen said, is she lying to herself?
About that person being her person?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that, yeah.
That's a possibility?
I do, because I feel like that especially that term is so overused, and nobody really stops to give thought or definition or anything to. It's just that, I like talking to this. I talk to this person every day. We see each other every day. The sex is good. The it's my homegirl because we've known each other for 15 years. Is that? I mean,
I think it's fair to start the conversation by asking, what made you start to feel like that wasn't your person? You love them and you miss them.
Right.
Now, I have an argument for why I believe it's accurate, but I just want to keep the conversation going, kind of see where you land on all this.
Yeah, well, I agree. I feel like like I said, I feel like you can. Like, there's things that people can do, say, encounters that can happen, or just sometimes space and time. You know what I mean?
Timing?
Definitely timing.
Occupation? Because when I think about my person, it gives off the impression that this is someone I want to have close to me. Access, I want to be around.
Yeah.
familiarity, consistency. But
Yes.
because my requirement for either someone being in my close circle or me marrying someone is reliability, consistency, then maybe they can't be my person because of their occupation or because of their calling in life. They can't fill the role, even though I love them and I miss them.
Or if I'm willing to make adjustments, maybe they can.
Be your person.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I like that. McJellen said the season, right?
Yeah.
And even though I think this is a short clip, and on the surface it sounds like, oh, just I think there's something deeper there, because I think that when we have these conversations and people are out here dating, what they're looking for kind of parallels to what she's talking about being the person. But if you find someone that you love and you miss when they're not around, I'm wondering what about that connection can make you say they're not your person, which I have some answers to, but what would make you say they're not my person, even though I love them and I miss them when they're not around?
When the connection is broken.
Like
for some people it's cheating. The connection has been broken. You're not my person, because my person would never cheat on me.
That's rough.
It is.
So how much? So dang. So does that mean that there's no, when you find your person, it's your person because there's no grace required for them?
I think the exact opposite, bro. I think that when you find your person, the standard and the bar gets risen to such a profound level that if they do anything that's outside of what your version of your person looks like, they get crucified for it.
And that's true, because we talked about that on a podcast before. The closer someone gets to your heart, the more influence they have, or the more ability they have to hurt you. Right? The people who we don't really know and care about, which is very wild to me. Like when people get very butthurt by comments they see online from strangers, and they get deep into their feelings about what strangers are saying. I'm wondering, how sensitive are they to the people who live in their house? Yeah, that's just a rough one for me to consider. So when I think about this conversation, have I ever met someone who I loved and I miss till this day, but they just couldn't be my person? That makes me think about the conversation about the ones that got away. Remember we had that conversation?
That was a good conversation too.
The ones that got away. Or maybe it was I loved them, I missed them, but they didn't love me or miss me. Maybe it wasn't reciprocal. Maybe I caught feelings that they didn't catch. Maybe I came in. No, this is an example we used before. Maybe, and I'm gonna use it on the opposite. Maybe they came in showing me the qualities, being intentional, and I wasn't. And so I fell for them in a way they didn't fall for me, because I wasn't being intentional, nor was I really showing up. Nor was I being present in the process. And I think that sometimes that is part of the situation that can cause you to be in a place where, like, that I wish that could have been my person, but because everybody has a choice to make on how they choose to use their energy and their effort. That's very interesting. All right. So what advice would you leave these people with, or insight would you leave these people with tonight when we say why we shouldn't marry one another, even if we love each other?
Even if we love each other, why shouldn't we marry? I think because marriage has more to do. Marriage has more than just I love you and I love you too. I think marriage falls into destiny. Marriage falls into calling. Marriage falls into building something with that person. Marriage falls into family. There's so many other facets of marriage than just, oh, I love you. You know what I mean? And I feel like if all you have to go on is I really love this person, I would probably suggest what would I suggest? You know what really helps is premarital counseling. And I say that because sometimes they ask questions that maybe you never even thought to consider.
Yeah.
You or your partner never thought to consider. And that can, you guys can go home with these questions and ask each other, and shit might come out of these questions. And now y'all like, well, shoot, maybe we should just be like good friends, or maybe we should date a little bit longer. Maybe we should kind of get to know some more about each other. So that would be my suggestion, bro, is just get some more insight into if all we're basing it is on I love you too.
I would say take time to explore the possibility that love doesn't always need to lead to marriage. Take time to understand that some people, loving them and not being in a partnership or a commitment to them is okay. But of course, that would require us all to sit back with our definition of love and our qualifications for who we say that we love. Because
that second one is good.
You know what I'm saying to you? Because Mike is big on that when it comes to a friend. I'm not your friend, but we say we love people, right? And you'll find yourself like, this is funny. You'll be dating somebody and you're really into them. The chemistry is great. You guys do all these things for each other, but you don't want to tell them you love them. But you tell a lot of other people who've done a lot less for you at work, at church, in your neighborhood. Love you.
Yep.
But because you don't really mean it like that, it's easy for you to say. But the person maybe that you're dating, you want them to say it first, or it's something weird like that.
Yeah, man.
I think that sometimes we do have to ask ourselves those what are our qualifiers, because it's I think I'm not gonna say I was scarred, but I was in a relationship once, and it just showed me some things about people that just made me question a lot. And I think that's just part of why I am the way that I am. I can't unsee some things, right? I was dating this one girl, and she would hug everybody, all guys side to side. And we doing the relationship thing and all that kind of stuff. And I remember this event, and she would hug girls on face on. And then, she said I saw her hug this other guy, what I'm saying? Full on, just to the front. And I'm like, why was that an exception?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? And I did over personalize it in the moment because I wanted what I wanted. I understand why I couldn't get it. And I'm like, this is not fair. And I had to take that word fair out of my vocabulary. But what I started to understand was that when you're dating someone, it's like all the rules change, because this person is shooting for access to your heart. Other people are kind of like, oh no, I'm good where I am. We're friends. I love you, coworker, boom, all that kind of stuff. This person is aiming for your intimate rooms. And so you almost create a different set of rules for them, a different set of requirements for them. So things you would naturally and easily do with somebody else, you won't do with them, because they're aiming at something so sacred.
Yeah, that's good.
You know what I'm saying? And that journey just seems to be a lot more complicated. So I would tell anybody out there who's experiencing what I did, like, don't over personalize it, because you're not aiming for the same destination as those people. And so that journey may need to look a little different, but be willing to have the conversation when you've getting your feelings about it, because you don't want to just internalize all that.
Like Donnie did. Is that brother that hugged that girl? Is he okay?
Who knows?
Golly.
I don't know if either one of them are.
He took him out. Jesus.
Maybe they're married. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? To God be the glory. Mike, you got anything else for the people?
Nah, man.
At the end of every podcast, we like to leave you guys with a reason. We're getting right to it tonight. We're going to end at 10 o'clock. Oh, it was a nice long weekend. I'm ready to go to bed. Listen, everybody, though, at the end of the podcast, we do like to leave you guys with a resource. Pardon me. Suicide and crisis hotline number has changed. This is 988. Again, when you read this, understand this not just for people who have suicidal thoughts. It's for people who want to just grow or develop or feel like they need help, or they want to talk to somebody. What I've learned recently, that you can call this number and the people answer the phone. If you just want to vent for a little bit, they'll sit and let you vent. And I think that's wonderful, because sometimes it's not so much you need help or you need somebody to respond or give you a resource, which they do. Sometimes you need somebody just to listen. And it's great that they have a number for somebody that can just listen. You don't have to call 911. Those people are busy trying to save lives in a different way. You can call 988 and say, I don't understand why my children keep doing this, or it's hard to understand why my boyfriend or girlfriend is putting me through this, or my toxic work environment is really straining. It's driving me crazy. You know what I'm saying? Or, my neighbors they're just annoying me. Yeah, you may get a referral if you want one to a support group or to a therapist or whatnot, or you may just get somebody to listen to you and you may get it off your chest, and that may make things a little bit better for the moment. So highlight that number, screenshot it, save it, send it to somebody, use it when you need it. We've had plenty of people on the podcast use this number, and it is extremely, extremely helpful. Our internet sister said, great show. Thank you, brothers. Thank you.
Yep.
Last piece of advice before we get out of here. Mike's wonderful wife said, I love you is not enough to sustain a marriage. It is not. Man, any final words, Michael?
Pray us out, brother.
Father God, we thank you so much for this opportunity to be here tonight. What we asked for is what you did, that we leave this conversation better than we came. For the people who needed to be here did show up. And we just thank you, Father God, that we heard something that was necessary. Like it was said in the sermon today at church, let us not just hear it and believe it, but let us start applying it so that we can see a difference made in our lives, Father God. We thank you for the opportunity to steward this podcast, for those who will be generous enough to give to this podcast, so we may stay online as long as you want us on here. And may we rest well tonight. May we all encounter you in a needed way in our hearts and in our minds, Father God. If we're processing and thinking about things the wrong way, in a selfish way or toxic way, expose that to us and show us a better way, that we don't sabotage the things that we've been praying for. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen and amen.
Good folks, until next Sunday.
2 Chainz.
Can we talk for a minute? Come on and talk to me. I wanna come and talk. Come on and talk to me, baby. Come on,
Come and talk to me. I really wanna meet you, girl. I really wanna know your name.
Maybe this will help.